He gets the call tonight in goal for Anaheim. His 52nd appearance of the year. An interesting situation, giving Ben Scrivens the start. Richard Bachman, who had won the last 2 games for the Oilers, had a death in the family. He left the team yesterday, and on the bench backing up tonight is Tyler Bunz, just recalled from Oklahoma City yesterday in time to make the morning skate here. Bunz, a 5th-round pick back in 2010, has never appeared in a National Hockey League game. However, both Bachman and Scrivens, Brian, have been going very well of late for the Oilers.
The Oilers have been going very well as of late. Todd Nelson's crew, for one thing, they get Taylor Hall back in the lineup, and here he is actually playing on the 3rd line. Can you imagine that? Taylor Hall on the 3rd line. They've got a little bit more depth offensively now than previously when they had Hall and all of their eggs loaded into one of their top 2 line baskets.
Todd Nelson talked about it this morning. He said he talked with Taylor Hall about that. He was going to put him on the wing with Lander and the youngster Andrew Miller, who has been going pretty well of late. Well, they're all going really well now. Hall has points in 5 straight games, and it's Jordan Eberle who gets the game's first shot on goal. Well, the Ducks may be living right there as it comes back to Eberle in the high slot. I thought there was a potential penalty that could have been called, but they play on. Nikita puts it right to the side of the net. Again, Eberle falling in a sprawling save by Anderson, who appeared to lose his balance. Still alive in the high slot. Great work by Eberle as he one-hands it to the open wing, and the Ducks able to finally muscle it out.
Yeah, and the Oilers getting through the loose pucks and creating second opportunities.
Anderson in the game early on with a couple of acrobatic saves, whether he likes it or not, and now the Oilers are offside. And Teddy Purcell steps away from the puck, allowing play to go on. Francois Beauchemin retreats into his own zone with it as Anaheim tries to change, and it's turned right back in by Neil Yakupov. Yakupov rolls it to the corner, up the wall, Purcell able to hold it in. Yakupov keeps the cycle going. Derek Roy gives it back to him. From the near side, Justin Schultz has his one-timer redirected wide. And the Ducks off to the races as Sakaki misses Perry at center with a pass.
Yes, but icing waved off because Derek Roy actually tied up the stick of Corey Perry.
Roy sweeps it into the Anaheim zone, waiting for it as Anderson and Hampus Lindholm picks it up and keeps moving.
Now, we haven't mentioned Ryan Kesler not in the lineup tonight. Kesler not any type of a serious injury, according to Bruce Boudreau, but the Ducks want to get Kesler the night off so that he can get back to 100%.
A night's rest for Kesler, who has played in all 78 games this season prior to tonight. He and Cogliano were the only 2 Ducks who had that moniker. Chris Wagner got a stick on it at center, but Anton Lander carries on, and Taylor Hall puts it to the corner. Bodies screwed all over the place in the early going, yet area whistle. And the puck lifted back to center ice. Martin Marincin sends it right back into the Anaheim zone. Not yet 3 minutes into the game, no score. Simone Dupre gets it ahead, and Maroon on the back end hits it deep.
Yeah, and not a good sign when the first dump into the Ducks is handled easily by the goaltender Ben Scrivens. Anaheim so much better when they put those pucks into the right spots, keep it away from the goaltender on the dumping.
This is a new look second line with Kesler out, as Brian mentioned a moment ago. Now Maroon playing with Raquel and Palmieri, as Ricard Raquel moves up in the middle here from his usual 3rd line position. Long wrist shot punched away by Anderson, and Palmieri able to deflect it to center. Maroon carries on, getting it deep, and now goes in after it. Davidson, the rookie defenseman, reversing it away from him. Luke Gazdick moves it into the middle, but no further from there. And Silverberg turns back in. Nice drop pass. Watch him on the shot. He scores!
When the Oilers open it up, they get all 3 forwards plus the neutral zone, and the Ducks go on the counterattack. Now watch Jacob Silverberg take a little peek. Right there, spotted Francois Beauchemin, and Beauchemin waiting for the screen to develop. He was patiently waiting for Nate Thompson to take away the eyes of Ben Scrivens, and there's not much that Scrivens can do about that. You can see him trying to peek around Thompson, but he couldn't pick up the puck.
So in 3:43 of the opening period, Beauchemin has his 11th of the season, and boy, has he picked up the goal scoring. Francois now has 8 goals in his last
Predators now have more goals from defensemen than the Anaheim Ducks do.
Another neutral zone turnover, and Thompson finds the Trainer rebound. That one skips across the zone. Thompson didn't see it as it landed right on his tape. Silverberg from a sharp angle, and then misses and comes around and out. Scrimmins has not played in a week. He was in goal in the win at home against Colorado, in which he made 41 saves last Wednesday night, a 4-3 win over the Avalanche. Hoffman has played the last 2 games in which the Oilers combined to only surrender 1 goal. They won 3 straight coming into tonight's action. Yakupov just blew a wheel there. That keeps the puck in the zone. And he intercepts it, however, from Dec.03. And back he comes. Neil Yakupov into the Anaheim zone. Wide to the right wing. Backhands it right through the crease. And all the way across.
Neil Yakupov, it's like 2 players within one. When he gets the puck, boy, is he fun to watch, and is he dangerous. When he doesn't have the puck,
he's dangerous.
He's equally as dangerous with this side of his own club. You can look at Darren Roy, who's one of those veteran centers that people wondered if they had anything left in the tank in Edmonton, and they've been raving about the job that he has done since he joined Todd Nelson's group.
Well, they added a second assist on the Boschma goal, and it goes to Hampus Lindholm. So Lindholm and Silverberg draw the helpers, and the Ducks lead 1-0. Here's Wagner trying to get inside and possess the puck in the Edmonton zone. He finally succeeds and moves it down low for Emerson Edom. Edom drawing back in the Anaheim lineup after being a healthy scratch in each of the last 3. And that centering pass from Wagner clearly redirected in by Edom. Holding the line is Votman, but only momentarily, and Taylor Hall flies the zone, tries to stay onside, and I believe the linesman Keel Murchison got in his way.
You can see the reaction from Taylor Hall. If he's freed up there, he's got a pretty good chance.
Maroon bumped at the blue line and taken away from him by Rob Klinkhammer, and now Klinkhammer out of the zone off the skin of Raquel, and just barely cleared the line. Schultz still hears it here at Honda Center in this now his 3rd NHL season, and an icing call against the Oilers will bring it all the way back.
We've been talking about Rickard Rakell and his playmaking ability, his confidence soaring. Kind of slithers away from a check, and watch him whip it right into the crease. He got away from Lander, and there was Emerson Edom. He took a swat at it, but unfortunately could not direct the puck onto the goal. Edom back into the lineup. I just also mentioned, John, that with a center, Ryan Kessler, not being in the lineup, that Chris Wagner moves into the middle of the ice. He had been playing on the wing. Tonight, he will center the 4th line.
In his last 4 games, Wagner has won 65% of his draws, but as you mentioned, those last couple games playing on the wing, he didn't take all that many. Getzlaf finishes his hit on Klefbom as the Ducks keep it in at the line. Bounces into the slot, and Klefbom trying to feather it ahead, does get it out of the zone. Saccoccia wheels right back in. Great pass across to Getzlaf. Parry to the front of the net, and Getzlaf shot off the stick of Scrivens. Dec.03 initiates the contact and wins the puck. Pass pops off the stick of Saccoccia, however, and Klefbom leads it the other way. The Oilers in their road whites with blue numbers. The Ducks in their home blacks with orange trim and white numbers. And Anaheim leads 1-0. Perry plays it across. Dec.03 gets center red and lobs it in. Ducks will change behind the play.
Those are the kind of dumpings that are good habits to get into prior to the playoffs. Put it in the right spot. Let your wingers have the opportunity to get in on the forecheck.
There's another neutral zone turnover. The Ducks storm back in. Silverberg got to his knees, still has possession, now loses it. And 3 abreast back comes Julian, leading the rest of the Oilers. Knocked off his stick as Boschma was able to recover.
This is a train.
Silverberg sends it across, and Boschma sends it around and in. Reversed back by Nikita. Leads with Hopkins, quick to move it ahead, and Fowler, fresh off the bench, intercepts at center. Botman carries into the Edmonton zone, pulls up, gets hit by Yakupov, and the puck squirts all the way back to the Anaheim stripe. The touch pass at center doesn't connect from Maroon to Raquel. They'll try again, and Raquel goes rink wide off the board. Maroon reaching, couldn't poke it past Derek Roy. Roy one-hands it into the zone, Teddy Purcell. And he's a little two-man game along the wall, but it's taken away by Paul Merrick.
A quick little move with the hands of Paul Merrick.
Maroon across the line, supported by Fowler. Derek Roy releases on the puck. And he's able to skate from behind his own goal. 8 minutes and some change gone in the opening period. 1-0 Ducks. Purcell's long wrist shot is in the glove of Frederick Anderson. Francois Beauchemin has goals in each of the last 2 games, including the only one so far here tonight at Honda Center. Let's look at tonight's Mercedes-Benz Star Watch, brought to you by the Mercedes-Benz dealers of Southern California.
And we're going to look at 2 real talented young players. Jordan Everly is on fire right now. 16 points in his last 11 games. And Raquel, very quietly, look at that, in the last 36 games, he's got 22 points. Everly had a couple of real good chances the opening shift of the hockey game. And Raquel, to me, is just a guy. A lot of people don't buy into the theory that confidence makes a huge difference in an athlete's performance, but I think he would be the poster boy for a confident athlete making much better plays with the puck.
He told me recently that when he came back on that second recall to the American League, Brian, he said, they put me on the power play. And it made me feel like it was really an important part of the team and made a big difference for him. He's produced on the power play as well as any rookie in the National Hockey League this season. Picked up 7 power play assists and a couple of power play goals as well. And that has buoyed what has been a wonderful second half of the season for the Swedish native. Marinchuk chases it down back in his own zone. Headmans for Andrew Miller went off his skate. Andrew Miller playing in just his 7th NHL game here this evening, but he has made a splash in Edmonton with 6 points through the first 6 games, including a 3-point outing 2 nights ago in Colorado. He was a +3 in that game as well. Miller was a standout at Yale in his collegiate days.
Another one of those players that Edmonton seems to have a lot of. Smallish player. Yeah. Speed. Terrific more at the American League level, but maybe not quite big enough to be a real consistent NHL guy.
Getzlaf with a great pass into the middle, and Cogliano hands it off. Silverberg tries to give it back. It was deflected as Clefbaum recovered defensively. Pouliot joins the fray and knocks it loose. Everly reversing it around, and Justin Schultz overskates it. Silverberg has it. Thompson scores!
Microphone selected. Session 3, slot.
And Justin Schultz overskates it. Silverberg has it. Defensively.
Magnifying his finished
Pouliot joins the fray and knocks it loose. Everly reversing it around, and Justin Pouliot joins the fray and knocks it loose. Everly reversing it around, and Justin Schultz overskates it. Silverberg has it. Again recovered by Anaheim. It's Wagner who got it back. He goes to the front of the net. Edom looking for him, but it's tipped away. And back out center ice where the Oilers try to further it on. Teddy Purcell from the University of Maine Black Bear flips it in wide of the goal and heads to the bench for a change. Fowler quickly to Getzlaf. Up the middle, his pass off the mark intended for Perry. And now Taylor Hall nearly turns it over at the blue line. It comes across the stripe. The Ducks can't go any further. Miller brings it in, but well ahead of the play was Taylor Hall. So the Ducks have added to their lead. Silverberg sets up Thompson at 9:59. Now 2-0. Start tonight for the Ducks at Honda Center. It is social media night here. We want to hear from you. Which Ducks player should Kent and Gee interview in the first intermission? Let us know at hashtag DucksSocial. I vote for Chris Pronger.
Always a good interview.
Yeah. Oh, he was a tremendous interview. If they can pull that off, I'll be very impressed. I'm now told that it must be an active player. Details. Taylor Hall tries a wraparound. It's intercepted in the slot, and now it's Maroon up left wing.
You now I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
I
guess I should have asked ahead of time.
Right.
I take full blame for that. Andrew Miller drops it back, and Hall's shot didn't have much on it, but it came up high on Michel. Banged off the boards and high in the air to center by Palmieri. Ducks will use the opportunity to get changes. The Oilers will as well, as Nikita circles back. Nikita had one of the 4 goals 2 nights ago at Colorado. And now Pouliot has his stick slashed out of his hands. The big guy goes back to get it. He can't believe there was no penalty. And now Anderson keeps Pouliot at bay with a little bit of a pick after he somewhat misplayed that puck behind the net.
Pouliot's used to outweighing guys down low against support. It doesn't apply.
Maybe not there. Yeah. Silverberg spins off the boards, and the puck comes back to him. He churns below the goal line. He runs into Clefbaum. Thompson storming in as well. Nate has one of the 2 goals so far tonight for the Ducks. Silverberg has assisted on both. Held in at the line by Thompson, who rings it around down low, and now it's Scriven's turn to run a little pick, this time on Leano. And again, I think the goaltender won the tail of the tape there. Both teams trying to change. The Ducks will stretch it to the near wing. Emerson Edom. Pretty hard bump there from Davidson as he barely got it inside the line. Derek Roy the other way. Drops it off, and Purcell's shot misses the net. Set back in front, and now Keith Allen drives up the boards. The defenseman rims it around to the near side. Edom on the backhand goes right through the middle, misses everybody. Ollie gets 2 at first. Icing is the call.
Todd Nelson took over partway through this season. You look at the numbers for the Oilers with hit behind the bench. Darcy, not as bad as the rest of their numbers. They're 16, 18, and 16 with him. And he was able to almost claw his way to the 500 mark despite injuries to Taylor Hall and Pouliot, Hendricks, who's still out, Boyd Gordon, who's still out. They got Nikita back now. But there seems to be a much more competitive Edmonton Oilers team since Nelson has taken over behind the bench.
Bouncing puck that Anderson handles and moves quickly this time. Wisniewski gets it ahead, and plenty of room in the middle of the ice for Getzlaff. Plays it off for Perry, winds and fires, gobbled up by Scrivens. Well, you mentioned the Oilers going well of late, Brian. Plenty of room in the middle of the ice for Getzlaff. Plays it off for Perry, winds and fires, gobbled up by Scrivens. Well, you mentioned the Oilers going well of late, Brian. Scrivens and the goaltenders have been very good. The team, as you mentioned, has been very good as well. 5-1-1 in their last 7 and really picking it up offensively. I spoke with Oilers assistant coach Craig Ramsey, and he told me an interesting point this morning. He said, sometimes you can't put too much stock in how a team plays at the end of the season. He said, quite frankly, it's easier to play when there's no pressure. And he said, right now, it doesn't matter if our group wins or loses.
Well, they kind of did the same thing last year. I mean, they were a much more competitive team down the stretch. And before, I don't think that changed the plan at all for General Manager Craig McTavish in the offseason. And I still believe that he did most of the moves that he wanted to make before the start of this year. But, boy, another disappointing year in Edmonton. They're back in the sweepstakes once again for a lottery pick. And, you know, that hasn't been their issue. I mean, they've got all kinds of young talent, draft after draft after draft, and just hasn't converted into wins on the ice.
The more things change, the more they stay the same in Edmonton. The Oilers down 2-0. Nice play by Palmieri as he one-hands it off the boards to himself and goes around the defender. Missed the net. Raquel fires it right back in, and Justin Schultz hit as a fluttering puck wouldn't settle for him, and the Ducks get possession. Dupre with a one-timer that just missed. Kept in by Maroon down low. Palmieri couldn't get his stick free, but Raquel able to beat Clefbaum to it. Now Schultz pulls it off the boards. Headman's for Taylor Hall. Hall gets center red. Nifty pass into the middle for Anton Lander, but he's tied up. The puck in his skates. And Palmieri able to get it out of the zone. It's going to roll back into Edmonton ice, and we'll get an icing call. First check. Tonight it's social media night here at Honda Center. We're challenging our viewers to several fun social media events throughout the night. Our first challenge is the first period foodie. Show us what you're snacking on tonight. We'll recognize some of the favorites in our post-game show. Tag your photos with hashtag #DucksSocial. Don't you guys?
I believe that's both for fans in the building and outside the building as well.
Don't you guys regularly eat during the post-game show as well?
0% foodie score.
We have a host.
Oh, that's
normally
that's right.
Working our post-game
Mark
show.
Rogandino's not here.
Not feeling well.
Raquel can't get a shot through to the Thompson fans. We hope Mark feels better. We know if he was here and he was feeling well, he might take an opportunity to snack during the post-game show. Broken stick picked up behind the play back to the Anaheim zone. Meantime, it's Thompson behind the Oiler goal. Picked up by Keith Ollie, and Silverberg is there. He fights off the hit of Davidson, but the puck up the boards to Jordan Everly. Everly, white hot, 13 points in his last 10 games. Gets it to Nugent Hopkins, who's equally as hot, 12 points in his last 10.
Yeah, that's handled. They've just been carrying this team offensively.
Ducks 2-on-1 as Getzlaf gets to a loose puck.
His stick. Oh, what an attempted pass by Getzlaf. He saw Sekach breaking into the open ice, and that's a bad break.
All right, then a good play by the captain, pestered Yakupov on the back check all the way through center. An errant pass is ruled icing against the Ducks.
It really is amazing to watch Brian Getzlaf and those hands of his, how quickly they move. Watch him just wait for space to open up, and then he just sensed that Sekach was going to be able to get to that puck. And he was there. Look at it bounce, though. That's a bad break for Yuri Sekach. I like the look of Sekach on the big line with Getzlaf and Perry. He's added some much-needed speed. And he has, in a force, been willing to get in on the forecheck and be that first guy.
Botman covers up as the puck came into the middle of the ice. Chopped ahead by Perry, still not out. And now he'll put it into the middle of the ice as he got hit by Yakupov. Free abreast of the Ducks. Getzlaf and tipped over top by Fowler, who joined the play. And now it's redirected into the Edmonton bench.
Getzlaf kind of shaking his head as he goes back to the Anaheim bench. Two close calls with the Ducks on the attack. They're in control. Goes back to the bench. I was just thinking about Cam Fowler and how when he was healthy scratch for that one game, he got back in the lineup. He said, I need to bring my swagger game after game. And boy, has he ever been good. Another good example of Fowler joining the rush, driving the middle lane. Unfortunately, that puck just a little bit behind the stick plate.
Fowler 3 assists plus 4 in the 3 games since he returned to the Anaheim lineup. Now Wisniewski, his shot tipped over top as Fleischmann in the high slot got a piece of it. Fleischmann retreats into the neutral zone and intercepts an outlet intended for Taylor Hall. Wisniewski, he has 3 assists in his last 4 games. And he finds Edom, who streaks into the Edmonton zone but can't get his shot through. Miller flips it into the Anaheim zone and beaten to the puck by Dupre. Hall follows up, just misses Miller in front. Ollie keeps it in. Former draft pick of the Calgary Flames pays the price as he got hit over there. And the Ducks able to move it to center to go further. Hall brings it in on left wing. Long wrist shot, missed everything. It'll come out. Cogliano flips it ahead. Davidson plays it across. Ollie's pass off the stick of Taylor Hall, so no icing. And Anderson helps out as he moves it quickly. Thompson finding room up right wing, hits the brakes. Silverberg skates through, back for Boschman, who comes up the wall and fires it deep. Benoit Pouliot, a +3 this season, the best plus-minus on the entire Oiler roster. Out there with Nugent Hopkins and Everly. And Schultz brings it to center. Clefbaum lobs it in. Halfway goes Schultz. First away from him. Nugent Hopkins seals the wall to keep it in. Schultz stumbled as he nudged it back to Clefbaum, and then Lindholm took it away from him. Quickly outletted as Boschma finds Cogliano. Palmieri one-hands it in and puts pressure on the keep. Maroon bumps Schultz as he moves it away. And the center ice, the Ducks quickly back onside. Palmieri to the corner. Maroon flies him after it. And it knocked off his stick back up the near wall. Mottman keeps it in. Nice job by Raquel, who gloves it down. Uses the base of the National. Palmieri fired it in front. Nearly went off of Schultz. Derek Roy brings it back. Personal hands it off. Shot kicked away by Anderson. May have been going wide from Yakupov. Under a minute now to play in a fast-moving opening period here at Honda Center.
Yeah, it sure has been. And what has been particularly fast, John, has been the Ducks in their own zone on puck retrieval. The defense doing a good job getting back to pucks early and avoiding any kind of pressure from the Edmonton forwards, with the exception of that first shift. Ducks have had an exceptional period defensively.
Sakach dances through the D, gets to the front of the net, and then lost the handle. So his angle wasn't much when he pulled the trigger. Big collision on the near side between Getzlaf and Taylor Hall. Wisniewski trying to filter it through, but it's blocked. And Nugent Hopkins careful to play it ahead. Check it. It's Hall who brings it in. And now the clock winds under 10 seconds. Getzlaf just trying to eat it along the dasher. And he'll be successful with some help from Wisniewski. The opening period comes to a close.
A good period for the Ducks. I was impressed with your speed away from the puck. Here's a perfect example of that. Here is Sakach just throws on the afterburners and cuts right into the middle. Unfortunately, the puck poked away at the very last second. Not much for Frederik Andersen to do after the opening shift of the game.
Each team was 7 shots on goal in the opening period, and the Ducks with a good start to the homestand. They pot a pair in the opening 20 minutes, and they lead the Oilers by a count of 2-0 as we go down on social media night to Kent French and Guy Hebert. My hashtag question, Guy, why won't you guys interview Chris Pronger?
You know what? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Thank you so much, Johnny, and we'll tweet you back. Oh, that's right. You're not on Twitter. Hey, Guy, let's talk about the first period for a moment. Coming off a huge road trip. They had 5 games in what surmounted to be 10 days. Is this the opening 20 minutes this team needed?
Really was. I thought it was a really good first 20 minutes. I think, this is the time where the leaders are leading in the locker room. It was a long trip, and they wanted to get off on the right foot tonight.
Well, as Johnny Allers mentioned, this is social media night, and you, the fan, get to choose who we talk to during each intermission, and you wanted to hear from Jakob Silfverberg. So, Jakob's sitting by live right now with us in front of the Ducks locker room. Silver, thanks for spending some time with us. You assisted on both goals. What impressed you the way you guys came out in the opening 20 minutes, knowing you need to ramp up the momentum here with just 4 games left in the regular season?
I mean, we want to get better every game as it is by now. We have 4 games left, and we want to play our best right now. And we know we're playing a team that's playing pretty well the last couple of games. So we knew that they were going to come out hard, and so did we have to do it, and we did it. And we're up 2-0 now, and it's good so far.
Well, going further with these next 3 games, is there anything that you personally want to do or accomplish to get yourself ready for the playoff stretch?
You just keep playing hard. I mean, you can't start cheating now. It's, as you said, it's only 3 games left after this, and you can't just turn on the switch when the playoffs is here. So you got to keep playing hard, and that's what I try to do, and hopefully good things will happen after that.
Well, Jakob, thanks for spending some time with us. Best of luck in the second period.
Thank you.
All right, Jakob Silfverberg, he had 2 assists, 1 to Francois Beauchemin, his 11th goal of the season, the second to Nate Thompson, his 5th goal of the year. As a result, the Ducks up 2-0 after 20 minutes of play. Stick around. We're going to bring you the first period challenge, the foodie challenge, come up next.
Period of play, still a couple of moments away from the start of the second period. And Brian, we've got Ducks assistant coach Brad Lauer standing by on the bench.
Brad, I'm wondering, Cam Fowler was up on the rush. Francois Beauchemin joined the rush and scored a goal. And this is something that you guys have seen with the Oilers. The opportunity exists for your defense to be a factor offensively.
Well, I mean, I think it's something that we talk about every day, and every game. If we can get our D involved in the play, today's game it's very tough to score 3 guys in the rush. You want to have that second wave, and that's what we've seen in the first period.
Look good in the opening 20. Thanks, Brad, and good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Well, when you're up 2-0, everybody focuses on your offense, but the defense has been a big part at both ends tonight.
It certainly has started with Francois Beauchemin. A great screen, by the way, there by Nate Thompson. And there's Beauchemin again, leading with the stick and poking the puck away from Pouliot. And this time it's going to be Cam Fowler who drives to center lane. That puck pass from Ryan Getzlaf just deflects off the shaft of the stick. Hampus Lindholm putting on the pressure in the offensive zone. I thought Anaheim, once they got past about the 92nd mark of the opening period tonight, did a great job of holding pucks into the blue line, the offensive zone. A sign of a confident team. Teams that aren't confident, defensemen back up, they exit the zone, they allow teams to get the puck out of harm's way a lot easier.
Well, time will tell. We've still got a long way to go in this one. As Maroon's shot is deflected over top. I wasn't sure this morning, Brian, that this might not be a real difficult game for the Ducks tonight. Edmonton playing very, very well. It's that renowned first game back after a long road trip, and clearly the way the Oilers are playing, nothing to lose. A team that's got a lot of call-ups from the American League and players that are playing for their futures, and they've been playing very well.
Bruce Boudreau said this morning that yesterday's practice was the best overall team practice that the Ducks have had in 2 months. The players have had a day off, and they just went at it yesterday. Very high tempo throughout, and Boudreau could not have been happier with the way the effort that the guys put into that practice yesterday. It looked to me like a team that's starting to get really ready for the playoffs.
The Oilers have won 3 straight, 4 of their last 5. However, they have only 9 road wins to their credit thus far this season. They will conclude this 3-game road trip tomorrow against the Kings at Staples in a very huge game where Los Angeles is concerned. Pouliot taps it into the middle of the ice. Everly overskates it. And on the back check, it's Silverberg who recovers. A very good night so far for Jacob Silverberg. Picked up a couple of assists, but he's been on pucks. And here he is again from a sharp angle off the side of the net as Scrivens, the Cornell product, held the post. Career high 53rd game of the year for Ben Scrivens. I beg your pardon, 54. You can tell it was Schultz who stretched that pass as Yakupov brings it into the middle and hands it off, and Purcell wasn't there at the far post. Eric Roy was looking for him, but his pass was out of his reach. Now Roy trying to swim over top of Sammy Vatanen down low. Sakoc supports, Perry reverses, but right to Yakupov. Vatanen moves it along. Boy, good work down low by the Ducks as Fowler picks it up and skates it out of harm's way.
Yeah, you get the legs moving in the D zone, boy, and it sure helps you skate the puck out of harm's way and away from pressure.
Sakoc in the middle of the ice. Nudges it ahead. Getzlaf angles it off the board. Sakoc from a bad angle threw it into the slot. Nobody home. But Nikita Nikitin, who moves it the other way in a hurry. In front of the net is Gazdic, who was given a rough ride. Now the puck played by a high stick. Well, our social media challenges continue. Our second challenge of the night, the second period selfie. Share your selfie photo now. We'll recognize some of our favorites in the post-game show. Tag your photos with the hashtag DucksSocial. Clearly Wild Wing already has his entry in there. Face off to the right of Frederick Anderson. And the Ducks, who have been outstanding in the face-off circle, particularly in the last 3 road games, able to win the draw and send it back. Ducks now 7th overall in the league in the face-off circle as a team, just under 52%. Davidson blocks the shot. As it comes to the near side, Frazier misses Klinkhammer, and icing as a result.
The fourth line on the ice for the Ducks. They've had a good game so far. Emerson Edoms had a couple of chances. Fleisch from the wing on the opposite side, and Wagner continues to impress. And I'm impressed with Wagner's versatility. He can play the wing where he becomes a force on the forecheck and really hit people. But as you mentioned, John, doing a nice job in the face-off circle. He's got decent size and enough grit to make him a big concern for opposing defensemen.
Wagner won 3 of 4 draws in the opening period. Keith Awley trying to hold Yuri Sakac at bay, and he finally moves it along to Brandon Davidson. Davidson made his NHL debut against the Ducks earlier this season in December. And now offside on the Oilers.
Good look at Simon Dupre. Steady. We were saying the other day, we knew he was physical. But I didn't know that he was going to be as reliable as he has been so far.
Yeah, Bruce Boudreau was asked after yesterday's practice about Dupre and his ability to fit in, and he was asked if he was surprised how well he had fit in. And Boudreau was rather candid. He said he has fit in better than I thought he would. Again, Clayton Stoner, not in the Anaheim lineup, out for the second straight game with a lower body injury. Ducks are hoping to have him available very soon. Marincin nudging it into the middle of the ice, and Nikitin pulled up at the blue line. Andrew Miller stepped across offside.
Nikitin, one of those players that missed a fair bit of time this year, was really being relied on to be a stabilizing factor back on the blue line with a lot of inexperienced youngsters back there. But to get back to the point I was making about Todd Nelson, it's not just injuries he's had to deal with. Don't forget that the Edmonton Oilers added Derek Roy into the mix. They also lost Perron, they lost Petrie, and so this to me is, I think, a testimonial, if you will, from Todd Nelson that maybe he should be named the head coach of the Oilers. He's the interim head coach right now.
Certainly a roster in flux or transition, if you will, despite all the youth that will stay on this roster, regardless of how they finish this season. Lindholm finds space, puts it on right wing. Perry had a little trouble fielding it cleanly, fires it around. Getzlaf seals the point on the near wing. Sakac has it battled away from him. And Nugent Hopkins pursues after deflecting it into the Anaheim zone. Quick out again. Anaheim has exited the zone very quickly with regularity tonight. Getzlaf lobs it across the high slot, or the slot, and off a high glass. It's Cogliano who keeps it alive. Silverberg, nice pass into the middle. Thompson again, and this one in the glove of Scrivens.
That's a good stop by Ben Scrivens. A nice little pass from the half wall. Watch this little feed right here from Jacob Silverberg. Backhand pass. Thompson skates into space. And boy, that back part looked like it was tattooed for the top corner, but a good stop by Scrivens with the left hand.
Silverberg's been quite the facilitator today.
Yes, he has.
Already with a career high in assists this season. And this keeps it alive. Silverberg. Nice pass into the middle. Thompson again. And this one in the glove of Scrivens.
That's a good stop by Ben Scrivens. And a nice little pass from the half wall. Watch this little feed right here to Jacob Silverberg. Backhand pass. Thompson skates into space. And boy, that back part looked like it was tattooed for the top corner, but a good stop by Scrivens. Silverberg's been quite the facilitator today.
Already with a career
Exiting narrator.
this season, he's added 2. Now has 25 on the year, 37 points, all career highs. The third-year man on Sweden. This is a heavy lifting into the water. It's batted out on there by Sandy Botman. It's one of the many skills Botman possesses, including his confidence. Again, he doesn't give up the line. Makes a pass over
camp with Edmonton, Chris Versteeg, and he's wearing number 10. He's been in the league for a dozen years. And
what a good save on Edom.
With the battle this new building, the excitement of having Thomas Gold with the new deal is something to give them energy. And we saw what Wesley and Wayne Gretzky skating around the rink. And I think the actual passing of the torch is the new captain, Connor McDavid. No question who the star is here. And what an opportunity to build his own legacy in this amazing new building. Lots of new things tonight. First game for Matthew Tkachuk, who's on the ice. Another of the 18
along the board, and you get rewarded with scoring chances. Ben Scrivens turns it over, and watch Sammy Vatanen go inside, protect the puck. Boy, he uses his legs so well to protect the puck, and then dishes it off for Emerson Edom.
Scoring chances now 13-4 in favor of the Ducks, who lead the game 2-0. Just over 5 minutes into the second. Here's a chance for Eberle, who gets behind the defense, and we're going to get a penalty shot.
Oh boy, the hooking call, but the indication was the referee pointed at center.
Yeah, he did.
He pointed at center initially.
That's Kyle Raymond who makes the call, and I beg your pardon, it's Taylor Hall. It's not Eberle.
The Hall was in, got around James Wisniewski, tried to go to the backhand. The hook by Wisniewski prevents a more dangerous finish by Taylor Hall. But I was surprised. I thought he was calling a penalty shot.
That's obviously what I thought, and I beg your pardon, I was incorrect. So it's a 2-minute minor for hooking instead on James Wisniewski. And here the Ducks shorthanded. Very nearly getting an opportunity as Getzlaf kicks it up. Dips his shoulder, brings it up the left boards. Now lays it off to Silverberg. Back to Getzlaf behind the net. Dusts it off all the way to the line. And Lindholm had it flutter on him, but he keeps it alive for Getzlaf on the goal line. And now he's trying to just rag it back, and he will for Silverberg.
Not a lot of effort from the Oilers away from the puck to try and get it back.
Schultz plays it off the end boards as it's iced. In the meantime, 45 seconds gone in the power play. Eberle hands it off to Teddy Purcell. Purcell brings it off the right boards, just fumbles it, and here's a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Thompson has Cogliano with it. Thompson tries to make the pass, and it's deflected away.
Benevolent there for Nate Thompson. Boy, had that puck in his off wing in good shooting position. Tried to make the perfect play to Cogliano. I'm a little bit surprised. This power play has been hot. 12 power play goals in their last 11 games. They have not looked like a red-hot power play so far.
18% on the season are the Oilers, and Derek Roy jumps into the middle. He was hooked. And Francois Beauchemin, the beneficiary there, as he angles it off the boards, and Scrivens, not afraid to play it, maybe overplay it there. And now Hall from behind the net will lead it. Just 15 seconds left for the penalty to Wisniewski. More of this power play has been spent in the Edmonton zone than in the Anaheim zone. Yakupov drops it off. Hall angles it back to the line. Yakupov near circle, settles it. Tries to make a pass back across. Wagner got a piece of it. Keaton doesn't get it through. The penalty is over. Edom headmans fresh out of the box. Wisniewski saves Scrivens.
Good stop of the blocker by Scrivens.
Now back come the Oilers with numbers, and Roy's pass into the middle, deflected away by Dupre. And poked out of the zone by Edom. It's been a little open for a scoreless second period to this point. Fleischmann just gets it into the Edmonton zone. And 4 odd man rushes in this game. The Ducks have had them all. Fowler quickly to Vatanen. Didn't get much on it, but Perry drops down. Uses the boards. Getzlaf into the middle of Fowler. Does a nice job spinning to receive the pass. And then just flips it in. Keith Hall, the former Toronto Maple Leaf and Tampa Bay Lightning, takes a bump from Perry. Lets the puck come through. And it's cleared to center ice.
You can see that the Ducks forwards are right on top of the Edmonton Oilers defense every single time.
Another neutral zone turnover. Vatanen flips this one in, heads to the bench to finish a defensive change. Shots 11-8 in favor of Anaheim as we approach the halfway mark of the hockey game. And here's another odd man rush. Perry has Getzlaf. Tries to make the pass. Gets his own bounce and scores. Turnover. Vatanen flips this one in, heads to the bench to finish a defensive change. Shots 11-8 in.
The Ducks forwards are right on top of the Edmonton Oilers defense every single time.
Another neutral zone turnover. Vatanen flips this one in, heads to the bench to finish a defensive change. Shots 11-8 in favor of Anaheim as we approach the halfway mark of the hockey game. And here's another odd man rush. Perry has
15 seconds.
Getzlaf tries to make the pass.
Bounces.
Nothing. And a penalty. And I think we got a bench minor coming up here for unsportsmanlike conduct that's going to go against the Oilers, who now trail by 3.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty levied against Taylor Hall. He was upset because he thought there should have been a penalty called on James Wisniewski. And Wisniewski buried him right at the blue line, but there was nothing wrong with that hit. He just got overpowered.
So that he makes the save on the average. And it's cleared back. Anaheim has averaged just over 2 power plays a game over a span of their last 23 games. That's over a quarter of a season. That averages out to well under 200 in a year. And now here's Getzlaf through the middle. Lays it off. Yuri Sakoch brings it into the middle. Fires. That went wide. Taken off the back glass by Getzlaf. Down low for Perry. Finds an open man at the point. Wisniewski. And he can't settle a rolling puck.
Just hopped on him. And hopped right over the top of the blade of the stick.
Keep going. Wisniewski has 7 power play goals on the year. None since he joined the Ducks from the Columbus Blue Jackets at the trade deadline. Good puck retrieval by Perry, and he puts it into the middle of the ice. Here's Pouliot, short-handed, and he backhands it wide. He was being pestered all the way down the ice by Fowler, who did a good job. Here's Clefbaum in the slot. Out comes Anderson to kick it away.
I don't know if Anderson stopped it or Fowler got in the way.
Ducks changing on the power play as Sakoch brings it into the Edmonton zone, keeps it alive. Botman in the corner has it knocked away, and the Oilers will sweep it all the way back. This is the 5th worst penalty kill in the National Hockey League. Under 78% are the Oilers.
We're talking about their power play being so good. 12 power play going into their last 11. They've given up 11 power play goals in those 11 games. So even though their power play has been great, collectively it's a +1.
Their special teams giveth. Special teams taketh away. The penalty is over to Hall. Rappel from behind the net. On the backhand, flips it out. Botman quickly to the net, deflected, and ends up in the near corner. Paul Mary was parked at the top of the blue paint. Clefbaum skates it out of harm's way, finds an opening on left wing, and it's deflected into the Anaheim zone where Anderson settles it behind the net. Maroon protects and finds Lindholm. He and Paul Mary into the Edmonton zone. Ducks want to change. Paul Mary feathers it behind the Edmonton net. We're past the halfway mark of the hockey game. 8:15 to go, second period. Silverberg gets it away at the pass in the neutral zone. Comes back to Lindholm.
Great patience.
Cogliano gets it to Thompson. He's had a particularly strong game. This line has been great. They've been on for 2 of the 3 Anaheim goals. And here's Cogliano. Shoulder save by Scriven. Dupre scores! Cogliano gets it to Thompson. He's had a particularly strong game. This line has been... Shoulder save by Scriven. Dupre scores! He just stepped up and ripped it off the hash mark. It's 4-0.
And that puck bounces in off of Nikita. It was going about 2 feet wide. Simone Dupre hammers it. And a big smile on his face. He knows he got a break. You're talking about Silverberg. Another great pass from Silverberg, this time to Cogliano. And it ends up going back to the point. There's the shot. Nikita can't get out of the way, and he boots it right back into his own net.
First as a Duck for Simone Dupre. And he has produced, to say the least, since coming over from Pittsburgh. This is his 14th game. He's got 6 points. And he's a +4 in that span. And now here's Edom. Curls off the boards and lays it back. Botman's pass across, intended for Fowler, who had already vacated the zone. Now room up the wing for Derek. Rolling glove save by Anderson. It was offside nonetheless. Wouldn't have counted. But this one does count for Simone Dupre. And The Ducks have a pair in the first and now a pair in the
Silverberg has had himself a night so far. He put it on a tee for Francois Beauchemin as the Ducks would open the scoring. A couple of opportunities. Racing on the forecheck, he would put one up for Nate Thompson, who would bury it. Showed good speed going wide. Challenge Scrimmons for the short side bid there. Set up Nate Thompson once again. I mean, he's made it. Boy, the game just has looked easy setting up Cogliano. He's up getting an assist in that one. So a career high 3 assists in a game for Jakob Silverberg. You know, we got plenty of time left in this one.
second time this season he's had 3 points in a game. He did it at Arizona earlier this month on March the 3rd. He had a goal and 2 assists there. It's Yakupov this time with a hit off the glove of Anderson. And Schultz steps up to try to keep it in. In the slot, Roy gets it through off of Anderson and knocked out of harm's way by Botman. Sammy, flanked by 2 different Oilers, comes out of the fray with it from behind the net and uses the glass to clear. This one will end up going all the way down, and they do rule this to the icing. As part of tonight's social media night, we want to hear from you. Which Ducks player would you like to see Kent and Gee interview in the second intermission? Let us know once again at hashtag Ducks Social. I'd like to see Chris Pronger interview. Interesting. I'll endorse that.
Dwelling on that.
I would endorse that. Well, this is their second chance. They let us down in the first intermission. Some would say that you and I don't understand this social media.
Yes, some might.
Miller moves it along behind the Anaheim goal. Anton Lander curls it back. Wagner was there to defend, but he's unable to clear the zone. Now he chases along with Botman. And it bounces out in front for Taylor Hall. He turns, and that one went off of Botman. Good shift here for the Oilers, one of their best of the game. Marincin got it through, and a glove save by Anderson.
Marincin was waiting for Ducks to get out of the shooting lane, but life was made a lot easier because, as you see from this angle, there's no Oilers in the shooting lane. So Freddie Anderson able to snare that puck with the left hand. So speaking of Chris Pronger, Bob Murray was telling me we're talking about these embellishment penalties and players being fined by it. And he was explaining the process that they go through to determine whether or not they will uphold or rescind an embellishment penalty against a player. And Chris Pronger is a member of the committee that looks at, there's a group of 9 all in the hockey operations department, and they look at those every week, and they rule at the end of the week whether it should be an embellishment penalty that goes on a player's record or not.
I don't believe Chris Pronger was ever called for embellishment, was he?
He was called for a lot of other things, but I would be shocked if you're right, John, if he'd ever gotten one of those.
Shot off the faceoff, punched away by the blocker of Anderson. He hasn't been all that busy, but Freddie sure has looked confident. That last glove save he made on Marincin, that particular blocker save, good signs for the Ducks, who lead 4-0 with under 6 to go here in the second, and the Oilers go offside. Perry and Nikitin having a little trouble getting untangled after the whistle. Anaheim looking for their 3rd straight division title. Ducks lead in the second 4-0 over Edmonton, and if that persists, it would result in a 3rd straight Pacific Division title as we take a look at the playoff picture in the Western Conference.
Bruce Boudreau will have been in Anaheim as the head coach for 3 full seasons. This would be the 3rd consecutive year that the Ducks have captured the Pacific Division title. And there's a definite method of operation with Boudreau's teams. They get off to a great start. They come out of the gates flying. He has them ready to go right out of training camp, and they've been able to get big leads on people.
Let's take a look at our American Honda 3-star leaderboard. Each time a Duck player is named as the star of the game, we assign a point total to it. The number 1 star gets 5, the 2-star gets 3, the 3rd star gets 1. Frederick Anderson, his last 2 games, inexplicably not being named a star, still trails Brian Getzlaf by 10 points.
Yeah, he got.
That's what happens when you play like he played on the road.
It's the same people, I think, that were voting for the All-Star game this year who were voting for the 3 stars in the last 2 building oriented.
A lot of perplexed looks from the Ducks as that puck was played off the glass, and Anaheim was 2-on-1 in the neutral zone. But the ruling was it came off that curved piece of glass from within the Edmonton bench, and I don't think too many people on the Anaheim bench believed the call. It was Silverberg and Cogliano, but the puck was coming out of the Anaheim zone, so pretty hard for the puck to have gone into the bench area and come back out into the neutral zone, but nonetheless, the play whistled down.
It's all math, John.
Geometry.
Face-off win there for Edmonton. And the Ducks have been doing very well in the face-off circle tonight. They've won 19 draws. The Oilers have won 14. And that's without Ryan Kessler, who is their ace in that regard in the lineup.
Kessler is up to 6th overall individually in the league. Nate Thompson has been creeping up the leaderboard as well. Thompson enters tonight at over 53% on the season, and he wins the draw there. Part of the reason those two were both brought in the offseason by general manager Bob Murray is to improve Anaheim's lot on the face-off dot. As I mentioned earlier, they have been top 10 in the league all year, 7 coming into tonight, and now they're about to go on the power play. No, I think they're going to take a couple of players here. Frederic Lacuillet looks like he has them both.
I think he's calling Nate Thompson for embellishment.
Yeah, I think you're right.
93 Edmonton, 2 minutes for holding. Anaheim, 2 minutes embellishment.
Well, that's the call. It's a hold and an embellishment.
I think his skates got poked out from underneath him. Let's see if we can pick it up. Yeah, it's the leg that trips up Nate Thompson. Oh boy, that is a tough call. I mean, it's a trip. Watch the right skate of Nugent Hopkins upends Thompson. And the competition committee will be taking a look at that at the end of the week.
I believe you were just talking about that. So 4-on-4 hockey.
Excuse me, it's the Department of Player Safety. I'm incorrect.
Just over 5 to go in the period. First time the teams have skated 4 aside here in Taylor Hall. Beaten to the puck by Anderson, and Hall went careening into the end boards. He gets back up and centers through an empty slot, forcing Nikita back through the neutral zone to get it. Marincin nearly fumbled it. Just picked up his first NHL goal a couple of games ago, did Marincin. Recalled from Oklahoma City a couple of times this season. He now moves it ahead. Lander gives it to Hall, fakes the shot, and then can't pull the trigger as it rolls off his stick. And Vatanen comes out of the fray with it. Sammy Vatanen moves ahead. Ducks are 3-on-2 through center. Getzlaf tried to get it back, and it went off the skate of Marincin. Ducks angle it back. Did Perry get a touch on it? Doesn't matter now because Scrivens came out of the crease. Derek Roy drops back to pick it up. A minute gone in the coincidental minors. And Roy makes a move at center. Flies into the Anaheim zone. Lets it go, but it's blocked to the corner. Good recovery by Hampus Lindholm. Ricard Raquel picks it up from below the goal line. And now drops it off. Gets his back. Nice pass by Lindholm right on the tape. Raquel curls at the hash mark. Flips it into the middle, and that's sticked away as Lindholm had jumped up. Long lead pass out of the reach of Derek Roy. They wave the icing. And the Ducks back to collect it. Lindholm fakes going up the boards with it and then just holds a great presence. And what a pass! He springs Palmieri on a breakaway. Backhander off the side of the net.
What a pass indeed. That's the second home run pass from Lindholm in the last couple of games, John, that you just marvel at.
Final seconds of the penalties to Nugent Hopkins and Thompson expire. Both teams full strength, and Cogliano has it poked away by Nugent Hopkins right out of the box to Everly. Over to Nugent Hopkins, and he scores! Well, that's two highly skilled players executing a 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Hopkins,
Lindholm victory.
It expires.
0%
Both teams full strength, and Cogliano has it poked away by Nugent Hopkins right out of the box to Everly.
0%
Hopkins. Final seconds of the penalties to Nugent Hopkins and Thompson expire. Both teams full strength, and Cogliano has it poked away by Nugent Hopkins right out of the box to Everly. Over to Nugent Hopkins, and he scores! Final seconds of the penalties to Nugent Hopkins and Thompson expire. Both teams full strength, and Cogliano has a finish.
That's by.
It was Nugent Hopkins stepping out of the penalty box. Cogliano leading in over career high 20. No forward Hopkins, the former first overall pick back in 2011. No forward in the NHL, Brian, plays more per game than does Nugent Hopkins. He plays nearly 21 minutes a night.
It always begs the question, young players that stepped into the lineup for the Oilers and they play all those minutes and there are significant minuses year after year, and the consistency to their development. I'm watching Justin Schultz, and at times he looks like a shadow of the defenseman we saw a couple of years ago.
And Ryan Nugent Hopkins is still only 21 years old.
He's a very good player.
Yeah, he'll be 22 in 11 days. The Oilers' season will be over by then. Ducks lead back to 3 as Anton Lander comes out of his own zone with it and leads it ahead for Taylor Hall. Hall finds Lander coming in late, and that's due to side by Anderson. With the cross, they intercepted in the slot by Maroon.
The Oilers had too many men. They got away with it there.
Fowler didn't have any options, so he just angled it ahead, and now Derek Roy diving into the Anaheim zone after a loose puck. Ducks able to roll it back, and Nikita will get there before it goes far enough for icing. Just under a minute and a half to go, and good recognition by Scrivens as Marincin didn't get that puck quickly off the boards. Helps out his defense. Nikita's pass misses its intended target, Teddy Purcell. They wave the icing as Botman is back to get it. Sammy hits the brakes, rims it around the boards. Nikita seals it off, and then he got crushed. And he is slowing it up. Emerson just rocked it. Ducks the other way with under a minute to go in the period. Fowler has a lane, winds and fires and broke his stick. Edom knocks it away from Nugent Hopkins, keeping it in the zone. Fleischman keeps the pressure on. And now the Ducks finish a change. And it's turned over. Sakic comes up with it at the line. Looks up, looking for Getzlaf, whips it across. He'll take it off the boards. Down low for Perry. Fowler's shrapnel of his stick still laying there as Perry steps in front. Tries to pull it in. Poked off his stick. Getzlaf covering in the high slot. Puck off the broken stick of Fowler, and Sakic has it again. Looked in the slot. Didn't have an opening to find Getzlaf. Perry unable to drag it around Schultz. Dupre with a dangerous cross-ice pass. And Teddy Purcell nearly poached that. Ducks bring it back in. Perry's shot disrupted as the horn sounds, and the second period is over.
Well, this was a wide open period. Ducks with a bunch of good scoring chances, and it's difficult not to get drawn into a game like Edmonton would prefer to play. The lesson learned at the end of that period is that if you give them odd man chances, they have the high-end talent on their top two lines that they will be able to convert.
Ducks add to their lead in the second. It was 2-0 after one, now on top 4-1 after two. We go downstairs to hashtag Kent French and Guy Hebert.
Johnny, appreciate it. Guy, first a comment on the second period there. Do you like the way the Ducks put the pressure on the Edmonton D in that second 20 minutes?
It was another good period. I think at one point at the end of the period, I think it's almost starting to play into the Oilers' hands, trying to go chance for chance. Palmieri with a great pass from Lindholm on a breakaway, didn't capitalize it and went back down the other way, and Oilers ended up scoring. So I think they want to tighten it up a little bit more, but so far 40 good minutes.
Yeah, and again, this has been Social Media Night. As Johnny mentioned, hashtag Ask Guy. We'll answer those questions coming up in the next segment. But right now, you guys want to hear from Simone Dupre. Picked up his first goal in an Anaheim Ducks sweater. As a result, he's standing by live downstairs. Simone, a little deflection play. You throw the puck at the net. Good things happen. Was it nice to get your first one in an Anaheim Ducks sweater?
Yes, it was definitely nice to get my first goal with the Anaheim Ducks. Kept it simple, threw it at the net, and got a lucky bounce and went in.
So, Simone, how has it been trying to get comfortable with new defense pairings? And have you found anybody that you really feel you have more chemistry with than someone else?
It's been pretty easy. The guys have been good with me. The coaches did a good job of teaching me the systems, and I didn't have to change much in my game, and it went pretty smooth so far.
Simone, at least from an outside perspective, it seems like it's been a seamless transition fitting in with this team. Do you feel the same way?
Not seamless, but definitely tried to go simple. I've been better every game. I did a couple games with Cam, went really well. Now I'm playing with Wiz, starting to get better and better and playing good together and trying to build that chemistry together.
All right, Simone, well, thanks for spending some time with us. Congratulations on your first goal with the Anaheim Ducks.
Thank you very much.
All right, Simone Dupré, our guest. He had a goal. So did Corey Perry, his 33rd of the year. And the Anaheim Ducks off to a great start after 40 minutes of play. Got some hard hits, some fast skating. So good score. Ducks up 4-1 after 2.
Brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the National Hockey League. It's a 4-1 lead as we get set to start the third period of play for the Anaheim Ducks here at Honda Center. Before we begin the third period, one final second period selfie. That's Ken French and D.A. Behrman. They should
a good-looking group, huh?
They should face friend that on the interweb. That's a good one. Or whatever they do with those selfies. Ducks on top and 20 minutes away from a potential Pacific Division title. 1 point tonight for Anaheim, and they'll have their third consecutive division championship. It'll be the fourth in franchise history as we're underway here in the third, and Anton Lander clears the zone the hard way, icing the result just 13 seconds in.
Kyle Palmieri has played a very physical game so far tonight. It looks to me like he has really gotten under the skin of a few of the Edmonton Oilers at times. But a quick first step, John. He's really been skating, I think, much better over the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks. Thought he had an excellent road trip.
Really picked it up beginning at the Island when he had a goal against the Islanders. He has points in the last 2 games, but much more than just the offensive side of his game. Has equaled last year's goal scoring total of 14 in much fewer games due to the injuries that cost him a good portion of the first 2 months of the season this year. Palmieri trying to take that one off his left skate, but he fails. Everly comes up with it, and it goes off of Pouliot and trickles just wide. Everly was trying to get it all the way across to Nugent Hopkins. It went off of the skate of Pouliot and just barely missed a gaping 4x6 as Anderson was trying to slide across.
I don't think anyone knew where this puck actually went. Thrown into the middle. Look at Freddie Anderson trying to find it. The low and slow that just trickles past the outside post. Big sigh of relief for Freddie Anderson. You sit back there in a game like this, John, and your team's been dominant. The Oilers get one on the board. And you have to be a little bit of a pessimist as a goaltender. You have to think that Edmonton's going to come on and that they're going to generate a bunch of chances. And you know they've got the talent. And that's the way you kind of play those mental games with yourself. Really stay focused in a game like this, which has been very one-sided.
Pouliot takes the lead pass from Nugent Hopkins. Now drops it off. Everly coming late off the glove of Anderson and over top of the net. Anderson has faced the Oilers 3 times in his career and won all 3. As a career goals against them, under 2 against the Oil. Fleischmann churns below the goal line, right in front for Getzlaf, smothered by Scrivens, who pounces out to cover up.
Oh, great pass by Fleischmann. Getzlaf coming in late, and Fleischmann spots the stick of Ryan Getzlaf. So pick the head up here, little peek. Getzlaf was in pretty tight, and that's what made it difficult for him to hoist this puck past Ben Scrivens. It's almost right at the edge of the goal crease. Good save by the Oiler netminder.
Fleischmann has assists in each of the last 2 games. Remember, he was a late addition to the Anaheim lineup Sunday night in New Jersey because of the late scratch of Matt Bolesky. Contributed to help in the 2-1 win over the Devils. Now Perry blocks an outlet pass in front. All along Getzlaf. Oh, and he lost the handle. Scrivens able to just poke it away. What do you think about the Palmieri breakaway? And that opportunity for Getzlaf, Anaheim could be way out in front in this one. Still up 4-1. As Schultz slides it over for Oscar Klefbom. Schultz gets it back, leading scoring defenseman again this season for the Oilers. He sends it in, and Luke Gazdic runs it down. Gazdic back to the line. Long shot by Klinkhammer, just missed the net. Bounces off the back of the goal. Gazdic able to keep it alive with a good bump in the corner on Wisniewski. Back to the point. Klefbom keeps it deep. Klinkhammer and Frazier go to the front of the net. Puck back to the line. Klefbom angles it off the end boards and then off the side of the goal. Good job there by Wagner, who dispatched of his man and then came up with the puck to move it out of the zone. Anderson.
He got up, Johnny.
Yeah, he was very slow to get back into the play there. He lost his stick. I didn't see what happened if there was a collision in the goal crease. The referee came over to check on it as he took his time to regain his stick as well as his balance. Lottman up the middle and Palmieri receives it. Chipping it into the Edmonton zone around Keith Hawley. Brandon Davidson sends it ahead. Davidson picked up his first NHL goal on Monday night at Colorado. A 4-1 win over the Avs. Thompson knocked down in the neutral zone and Taylor Hall the other way. Finds the trailer. It's Davidson. Got it on net. And Anderson covers up.
We were wondering exactly what had happened to Frederik Andersen. Here's what happened to him. His head's kind of outside of the goalpost, and you see the contact there, and it was Fraser that went in towards the top of the goal crease. Don't think it was intentional. But that was the old double collision. You get hit once on one side of the head, and then the goalpost hits you on the other side of the head. And this on the heels of, remember when Frederik Andersen got hit in the back of the head or neck with the crossbar.
That was back in early February in Tampa.
A bunch of games.
Yeah, ended up missing the better part of a month. 9 games in all. He's been out of the Anaheim lineup this season. After tonight, only 3 left in the regular season for the Ducks. 2 of them will be here at Honda Center. Taylor Hall pushed to the outside by Getzlaf as he entered the Anaheim zone. Simone Dupre, who picked up his first Duck goal tonight, moves it along. Wisniewski's pass, however, behind its intended target, and icing is the call. We remember moments ago, Ryan Getzlaf mano-a-mano with Ben Scrivens.
Yeah, he goes to the backhand, tries to fake him out, and can't drag it all the way around the leg, the right leg of Ben Scrivens. Good save again. Scrivens had a couple of real good stops here in the early stages of this third period.
Scrivens appeared against the Ducks the last time these teams met in a game up in Edmonton on the 21st of February. Made 19 saves in a 2-1 loss. But he's been on his own a little bit more here tonight. And has done well to keep it to 4-1. Pouliot in the neutral zone hands it off, and Everly lobs it to the left wing. Played by the high stick of Pouliot, who is then dispatched by Boschman. Nugent Hopkins tried to get a little redemption, and then Pouliot did as he cross-checked Boschman down. The two of them having a little one-on-one battle in the zone as play goes on. Nikitin can't get to the front of the net. Thompson knocked that away. Ace outlet finds Silverberg up right wing. He springs Cogliano. Chopped away by Klefbom.
That's got to be a penalty shot.
I'm waiting for the indication.
There it is.
And we're going to get a penalty shot. That didn't look much different from the indication earlier in the game, but this one's going to be a penalty shot.
Good pass ahead to Cogliano, and here's the chop, and that was quite a chop, by the way. Watch this as an act. Oh, it's only one hand. excuse me, I thought it was a two-handed slash. It's only the one hand, but it will be Andrew Cogliano and Ben Scrivens, the penalty shot.
Scrivens has never faced a penalty shot in game action at the NHL level. They come to their feet at Honda Center. Cogliano picks it up and approaches Scrivens. Dusts it off and scores!
I thought it was a two-handed slash. It was only the one hand, but it will be Andrew Cogliano and Ben Scrivens, the penalty shot.
Scrivens has never faced a penalty shot in game action at the NHL level. They come outlets near side for Teddy Purcell. Purcell ahead to Derek Roy. Roy steps inside, loses the puck. Klefbom covers the zone though. Keeps it deep. Fowler pressured, and with the rest of the oil changing, a lot of room to find Getzlaff. His pass deflected, intended for Perry, but slashed off his stick as he got to the line. Botman gives it back to him. The return pass well off the mark. So Anderson sets it up for Sammy around the boards, and Yuri Sakach pays the price, chopping it back. Davidson weaves behind his own net. Second 4-goal lead of the night for Anaheim. They led 4-0. Neither team has converted on the power play. The Oilers are now minus 57, 5-on-5 this season. Anderson makes a save. Lander got to the rebound, reaching back. I don't know if Anderson got it or not. He laid the paddle of the stick down. May have gotten some help from Wisniewski. Lander starts back, and Taylor Hall gets enough of it to nullify an icing. Wholesale changes on the go for Edmonton. And on his horse, Hampus Lindholm, right through the middle of the ice. Rockets it over to Thompson on the wing.
Lindholm, +4 so far tonight, John.
He pushes up the wall, and it's Nugent Hopkins into the Anaheim zone. Drops it back to Thompson with a nice play, deflecting it away. That would make Hampus +27 on the season. Last year he was a +29. And the Ducks are a +4 in this one right now, thanks to Cogliano's penalty shot goal.
And then Hampus Lindholm is +4 on the night. And that would not, of course, include any kind of a plus on that great pass he launched to Kyle Palmieri. We've seen that before against the same Edmonton team. This was also here at Honda Center, and that's Ryan Kessler, who just darted into the open ice, and Lindholm, with that vision, would spot Ryan Kessler, sprint him for the breakaway, but on that night, Kessler would finish.
Yeah, you just mentioned he's +4 tonight, Brian. He sprung Palmieri, and could have been a +5 easily. Nail Yakupov's pass off the skate of Yuri catch all the way back. 11:40 to go in the game. Long way to go. The Ducks on top 5-1. And any points for Anaheim tonight would result in a Pacific Division title. Herschel trying to cut to the middle, and his pass disrupted by Wagner. Long wrist shot by Klefbom, blocked by Bushman, who finds it first. And Wagner throws an area pass off the boards a little too far for Emerson Edom. Chris Wagner, through 2 periods, had won 8 of 9 face-offs in this game. And as you mentioned, his versatility, Brian, the physicality he brings, the ability to play on the wing or in the middle, certainly a valuable commodity come playoff time.
And even looking further ahead in that for Wagner, what a valuable asset to have a guy that can play the wing and the center position. Right age, right contract situation as well.
That one gets through as it was just chopped towards the net by Clinton. Anderson made the stop. Gazdic holds the line. Nikita from the right circle into the high slot, and Frazier missed the net. plays it across and again through traffic. The shot from Nikita missed everything.
I didn't think he missed Kyle Palmieri. He's limping around on one foot right now.
Richie drives up the boards. As it comes his point penalty coming up to Cam Fowler here. And Cam came over initially to respond.
Cross-check.
And comes his point penalty.
I didn't think he missed Kyle Palmieri. He's limping around on one foot right now.
Richie drives up the boards. Came over initially. He rolled off and everybody
First into the board. There it is.
7th minor penalty taken all season by Cam Fowler, and as a result, Edmonton will go on their second power play of the night, nearly halfway through the third period. Now it's time for our third and final challenge of the night. Our third period throwback. Share a photo of the Ducks throwback jersey or yourself at a previous Ducks game. Feel free to be creative and recognize our favorites. It's a nice postgame show. Tag your photos with the hashtag DucksSocial.
The last time the Oilers had a power play was all Ducks. In fact, Anaheim was threatened on a couple of different occasions. Edmonton did not score a shot on goal on that last power play attempt.
Nugent Hopkins into the Anaheim zone, flips it to the right boards, and Everly is there. These two combine on Edmonton's only goal tonight, and as it comes to the front of the net, it's Getzlaf who sends it down.
Yeah, Everly's the big sniper on the power play. He's got 6. Yakupov has got 5. They're the primary weapons here.
Everly leads the team in power play points. And now it's Purcell from behind the net. 45 seconds gone in the penalty, and it's all Edmonton can do to get through the neutral zone. Now Hall carries in on left wing. Throws it all the way back to the point. Lander with a touch for Hall. Taylor Hall missed over 30 games this season. With a knee injury. Now he has a broken stick, so he has to discard that. He'll go to the bench and get another stick as Nikit brings it all the way back.
Good pressure. They just would not give Taylor Hall any time on the boards. A good job forcing turnovers.
Yakupov rifles it out in front, too hot to handle for Pouliot, and Perry takes his time and ices.
It's been a while since we've seen Corey Perry used in a penalty-killing role.
Out there right now with Chris Wagner. Pouliot into the Anaheim zone, trying to get around Dupre. Down he goes. No call. And Dupre digs it off the end boards and just able to clear past the outstretched stick with Nikit. Penalty is over to Fowler. The Ducks do not surrender a shot on goal during that Edmonton power play. The Ducks 8 for 8 on the kill over the last 3 games as Taylor's bid from the boards is held by Anderson. 5-1 Ducks, just under 8 to go at Honda Center. Let's take a look at tonight's Hyundai game summary. Anaheim got off to a fast start thanks to Jakob Silfverberg. He assisted on 3 of the first 4 goals in this game. Corey Perry with a highlight reel goal that included his 600th NHL point. And Francois Beauchemin with a goal to get things started has added an assist and another big plus night for him.
A lot of big nights. It's going to be a happy locker room if they can finish this one off. This one has had the feel of, I would imagine, that practice a couple of days ago that Pujo was talking about, John. Very high pace that they have tried to get, and that's the message right now from the coaching staff. Keep the pace high. This is the playoff team. We got to worry about our game. Don't let them kind of drag you down to their level.
Scrivens out to play it off the glass, barely kept it in the barn, and look at him race out to get this one. Many fans on it. Ben Scrivens has had enough. He says, if I can play the puck, I'm gonna. Shot from the point from Dupre gets through. Well, Fan Appreciation Night is coming up as the Ducks wind down the regular season. In fact, it's a week from tonight, April the 8th. They'll host Dallas. You'll get a free team photo presented by Fox Sports Prime Ticket and a chance to win many more prizes throughout the evening. Go to AnaheimDucks.com/tickets for more information.
Boudreau rolling 4 lines.
Down to 7.5 to go. As Taylor Hall can't get by Getzlaf, trying to bring it out of the zone. Anaheim with a 5-1 lead. And Ryan Getzlaf does not have a point in this game. They wave the icing as Taylor Hall uses his speed to nullify it. Miller gets it to him down low. Ducks have done a real good job on this line tonight. This line had really been lighting it up of late. Hall had 5 points in his last 5. Miller had 6 points in his last 6. They've been quieted this evening.
A little change from Boudreau is Thomas Fleischman gets a shift with Getzlaf and Perry.
Miller has it knifed off his stick by Francois Beauchemin, but it's recovered by Benoit Pouliot. Pouliot trying to curl it into the middle of the ice, but Lindholm stayed home. Quick puck movement, and it's Hampus Lindholm out of his own zone, trying to pass it through the middle. It went off of Jordan Eberle. Beauchemin again just stays home and feathers it back to the Edmonton strike. Ducks have goals from 5 different goal scorers as Edmonton brings it back into the zone offside.
A little bit of mop-up time here for Anaheim. They're just trying to keep that clock moving. Lots of opportunities for Boudreau to tinker in a 4-goal lead like this.
.601 to go in the game. Hasn't been a high volume of shots in this hockey game. It's just 24-23 in favor of Anaheim. Now, this has been the kryptonite this season for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, 13th overall in the West, 28th in the NHL. They've got a lot of problems. But, Brian, they have not been able to win within their own division, the Pacific. Coming into tonight, Edmonton just 3-17-3 within the Pacific Division.
And surprisingly, very good against the Eastern Conference. I mean, 15-14-3, above 500.
Yeah, very respectable
against the East.
Lindholm using the end boards. Beauchemin keeps it on the dasher. Yakupov pulls it off, but Francois swats it away, and now room for Kyle Palmieri. Gets center red, the prudent play, hard around and in as both teams change. Clock becoming an ally of the Ducks with each passing tick as Gazdic can't handle the pass at center. Wisniewski pressuring around the boards. And Wagner gets to it, moving it ahead. Good speed through the neutral zone. Dupre joins the rush. Edom tried to get it to him on the wing. Now covers the point and holds it in. Releases on the puck. Joined by Ricard Raquel. Raquel relentless on the puck.
Both he and Edom.
And Edom, Mark Frazier gets it, but doesn't clear Edom. Great pass between the legs. Fleischman fired wide. What a pass. Edom right back to Fleischman. Cuts to the middle, way out of Scrivens. An open net for Edom. Oh, it got through. The save made by Ollie. Scrivens has started taking chances here in the latter stages of the third, and he got caught way out of his net.
I don't blame him. I mean, there are people wide open everywhere.
I told you I felt sorry for him when it was 3-0. Hasn't gotten much better. 5-1 Ducks says Perry spins like a whirling dervish behind the net, but doesn't come out with the puck. It's Hall the other way, cutting against the grain, parallel with the blue line. Loses it, and it's angled back by Vatanen for Perry. The trailer is Getzlaf. He gives it to him, right back to Perry. Out of his skates, one hand on the stick, hurls it in front, one-handed, right through the crease. Palmieri bumps Hall. Gets a stick on the outlet, but can't corral it. Now loses his stick, and Lander ahead for Miller. Big job by Vatanen. It wouldn't give up the blue line.
It's almost like the head coach has decided to try a whole bunch of guys at left wing here in the last few shifts. That was Kyle Palmieri's opportunity to get up there with Getzlaf and Perry.
Up the wall, pinching as Boschman keeps it in for a moment. Now has to retreat defensively as the outlet finds Pouliot. Pouliot looking for the trailer. Silverberg on the back check got enough of it. And now it does come to center as Schultz pressured by Silverberg. Under 3 to go in the game. And that's what stands between Anaheim and a Pacific Division title. They lead 5-1. Nice little backhand pass by Lindholm. Gets Anaheim out of the zone. And then he recovers to keep it in at the point. Throws it on net. Scrivens wanted to play on, but instead he'll cover up. Just 2.5 left at Honda Center. The Ducks on top of the Oilers. 5-1. Stay with us. Should be a festive Ducks Live after the conclusion of this one tonight, as brought to you by Mazda. The Ducks just 2.5 minutes away from a Pacific Division title.
Bruce Boudreau, the mystery solved as to why there's been a whole bunch of different left wings playing with Getzlaf and Perry, because Pat Maroon is not on the bench. Played 13 shifts actually in the second period, but he's not played in the third, and so Boudreau has been rotating left wings throughout this period.
Wagner in to take the draw. In the circle to the left of Scrivens, the Oilers control. Cleared to center. Edom had to touch up. Davidson hinges it back across, and Ollie under pressure wires it off the glass and back to center. Anaheim content to just lob it back in as Dupre puts it in Edom's corner. Around the boards, Dupre steps up, got it to the net. Scrivens gobbles it up and forced a home with 2:09 remaining.
That's that last shift. Got a couple of good bumps. Bryson in the corner. Hitting is infectious. And coaching staff has mentioned that a number of different times. That when somebody acts as the catalyst, and that first guy starts throwing the body around, that typically everyone else on the bench stands up and pays attention and starts doing a little bit of the same.
Anaheim under 2 minutes away from their 26th home win of the year. That would be 55 wins in this building in the last 2 regular seasons. So often you hear coaches talk about establishing home ice, making it a difficult place to play. The Ducks have done a wonderful job of that under Bruce Boudreau. Wagner, little handcuff puck was in his feet, so Wisniewski gets it back from him and content to just clear up the middle. As the game clock down to 90 seconds. Fowler tracks it off the boards. And it takes it away. Miller can't get it to the net as that was redirected wide by Botman. Anton Lander angles it off the boards. Davidson shot tipped by Miller just over top. Lander from behind the net. Into the high slot, fired it into the skates. He couldn't find it. Fowler does and uses the glass to clear.
Nothing wrong with that.
Missile down and I get the Oilers. Ollie feathers it in and takes a hit.
What a shot by
Palmieri with a good hit on Ollie as he related. Ollie didn't like it much, but I don't think there will be any penalties related to the hit by Palmieri. There is, however, going to be a penalty on Ricard McCall. You can't grab with the free hand like that. And here's the hit at the end of it. And
Pass to clear. And Scrivens hasn't realized it yet. Now he'll head to the Edmonton bench. And the extra attack around to the Oilers. Ollie feathers it in and takes a hit. And Scrivens hasn't realized it yet. Now he'll head to the Edmonton bench. Hell's going to take a penalty here. He got the free hand out on Davidson. And Scrivens hasn't realized it yet. Now he'll head to the Edmonton bench. And the extra attack around to the Oilers. Ollie feathers it in and takes a hit. Ollie feathers it back in. Perry's shot takes rough one as the hard sounds in the second period.
This was a wide open period. Ducks with a bunch of good scoring chances. And it's difficult not to get drawn into a game like this that it will be
on the Edmonton. Now,
And
field this.
Better.
He had a great start. Corey Perry, his 33rd of the year, and the Anaheim Ducks off to a great start after 40 minutes of play. Got some hard hits, some fast skating, some good score. Ducks up 4-1, some for 2.
Brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the National Hockey League. It's a 4-1 lead as we get set to start the third period of play for the Anaheim Ducks here at Honda Center. Before we begin the third period, one final second period selfie. That's Ken French and D.A. Behrman. They should
good-looking group, huh?
They should face friend that on the interweb. That's a good one. Or whatever they do with selfies. Ducks on top and 20 minutes away from a potential Pacific Division title. 1 point tonight for Anaheim, and they'll have their third consecutive division championship. It'll be the fourth in franchise history as we're underway here in the third, and Anton Lander clears the zone the hard way, icing the result just 13 seconds in.
Kyle Palmieri has played a very physical game so far tonight. And it looks to me like he hasn't really got the skin.
0%
14 in much fewer games
finished loading.
due to the injuries that cost him a good portion of the first 2 months of the season this year. Palmieri trying to take that one off his left skate, but he fails. Everly comes up with it, and it goes off of Pouliot and trickles just wide. Everly was trying to get it all the way and trickles just wide. Everly was trying to get it all the way across to Nugent Hopkins. It went off of the skate of Pouliot and just barely.
Come on, man. It's a goaltender. You don't think that Edmonton's going to come on and that they're going to generate a bunch of chances. And you know they've got the talent. That's the way you kind of play those mental games with yourself to really stay focused in a game like this, which is very one-sided.
Pouliot takes the lead pass from Nugent Hopkins. Now drops it off. Everly coming late off the glove of Anderson and over top of the net. Anderson has faced the Oilers 3 times in his career and won all 3. Has a career goals against them under 2 against the Oil. Fleischmann churns below the goal line. Right in front for Getzlaf. Smothered by Scrivens, who pounces out to cover up.
Oh, great pass by Fleischmann. Getzlaf. And Fleischmann spots the stick of Ryan Getzlaf. Pick the head up here. Little peek. Getzlaf was in pretty tight, and that's what made it difficult for him to hoist this puck past Ben Scrivens. It's almost right at the edge of the goal crease. Good save by the Oiler netminder.
Fleischmann has assists in each of the last 2 games. A 4-1 off the line. The zone, Anderson Gidries, as well as his very receiver. Net that happened. Zone and Taylor Hall the other way finds the trailer. It's Davidson. Got it on net. And Anderson covers up.
Well, you're wondering exactly what had happened to Frederik Anderson. Here's what happened to him. His head's kind of outside of the goalpost. And you see the contact there, and he kind of was Fraser that went in towards the top of the goal crease. I don't think it was intentional. But that was the old double collision. You get hit once on one side of the head, and then that was the old double collision. You get hit once on one side of the head, and then the goalpost hits you on the other side of the head.
Image magnified his
This on the heels of Anderson that hits the back of the head
dislike toggle button off
with the crossbar.
Image is still blurry.
That was back in early February in
Just a
Tampa.
bunch of games.
I'd like to
Just
zoom in
the better part of a month.
Image takes text the screen
games in all.
triggers accident.
Out of the Anaheim lineup. this
Feature
season.
other menu item. Text image text.
After
I'd
tonight,
like to zoom
three
in
left in the
menu.
regular
I'd
season
like
for
to
the Ducks.
images
Two of them will
covering
be here at
content.
Honda
Images
Center.
still blurry. Menu
Taylor
item.
Hall pushed to the
Images
outside by
covering
Getzlaf
content.
as he
Menu
entered the
item.
Anaheim zone. Simone.
Tab 2 of 6 muted. I'd like to resize the window. I'd like to zoom in further. Menu. Image take. Text. Feet. Other menu item. Dislike. Toggle. Tab 2 of 6 unmuted.
Mono with Ben Scriven again. Up in every behind its intended target, and icing is the call. I remember moments ago, Mono with Ben Scriven.
Yeah, he goes to the backhand, tries to fake him out,
Image.
and can't drag it all the way around on the leg, the right leg of Ben Scrivens. Good save again.
Has done well to keep it to 4-1. Different goal scorers as Edmonton brings it back into the zone. Offside.
A little bit of mop-up time here for Anaheim. Keep that clock moving. Lots of opportunities for Boudreau to tinker in a 4-goal lead like this.
.601 to go in the game. Hasn't been a high volume of shots in this hockey game. It's just 24-23 in favor of Anaheim. Now, this has been the kryptonite this season for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, 13th overall in the West, 28th in the NHL. They've got a lot of problems. But, Brian, they have not been able to win within their own division, the Pacific. Coming into tonight, Edmonton just 3-17-3 within the Pacific Division.
And surprisingly, he was very good against the Eastern Conference. I mean, 15-14-3, above 500.
Yeah, very. All the other way, cutting it salute. Ducks recovers to keep it in at the point, throws it on net. Scrivens wanted to play on, but instead he'll cover up. Just 2.5 left at Honda Center. The Ducks on
Played throughout this period.
Magnify image in Smart
Wagner in to
Explorer
take the
dialog.
draw.
Image magnify his
In the
finished
circle to the left of Scrivens, the
0%
Oilers
vertical
control.
scroll.
Cleared the center. Edom had to touch up. Davidson hinges it back across, and Ollie under pressure wires it off the glass and back to center. Anaheim content to just lob it back in as Dupre puts it in Edom's corner. Around the boards, Dupre steps up, got it to the net. Scrivens gobbles it up and forced to hold with 2:09 remaining.
0% vertically scroll.
Very sick hops that last shift. Got a couple of good bumps. And breaks it in the corner. And hitting is infectious. And coaching staff has mentioned that a number of different times. That somebody acts as the catalyst, and that first guy starts throwing the body around that typically everyone else on the bench stands. A couple of good bumps. And breaks it in the corner. And hitting is infectious. And coaching staff has mentioned that a number of different times. That somebody acts as the hitting is infectious. Coaching staff has mentioned that a number of different times. That somebody acts as the catalyst, and that first guy starts throwing the body around that typically everyone else on the bench stands up and pays attention and starts doing a little bit of the same.
Anaheim under 2 minutes away from their 26th home win of the year. That would be 55 wins in this building in the last 2 regular seasons. So often
They got to take care of business in their own end. They did tonight, and they were dangerous on the attack as well. This was a high pace.
Connor McDavid
Current.
is 19th goal this season. And it was 51 seconds left in overtime that the Oilers win it. 22 in overtime.
which now ensures them that they will be either first or second in the Western Conference playoff picture.
1 hour,
when the regular
42
season
minutes,
comes to a
57 seconds
conclusion.
to 1 hour, 43 minutes, 16 seconds.
And they win it here tonight over the Edmonton Oilers by a final
Image
score
magnified is
of 5-1. Stay with us, much more to come from Honda Center as the Ducks celebrate another Pacific Division title. Ducks Live is next.
0 minutes, 0 seconds, 0 minutes, 0 minutes.
NHL right now.